Hey, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on 20 Sides to Every Story. We're back. It's Dolmenwood time. Indeed. If this is your first time checking us out, whether you're watching us here on Twitch, watching this on YouTube, or listening to the podcast after the fact, probably the number one thing I would say at the start is if you enjoy this stuff, you enjoy listening to our games, come and join us in our Discord server. Um, I'm going to pop that into the Twitch chat here real quick, but you can find the link for the Discord server in the information about the channel. There should be a link there for you. It's a great community to come and talk about tabletop role-playing games, talk about whatever tabletop system you like, talk about any of the content that we're running on the channel. It's also a great place to find people to play games with. We run a community campaign that is open to all, that you could sometimes literally within the week that you join the Discord server, be able to sign up for a game and start playing right along with us. So best way to get involved in all of that is just jump in the Discord server and introduce yourself, and we will connect you with ways to engage with us. So this morning, I am the GM for this session, Alex, and I am joined here by Winston playing Weymund the Illusionist, Issac playing Friar Fitzpatrick the Friar, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, and Chris playing Thomas the Minstrel. Where last we left off in our game, I believe that we are picking up on the 26th of Igwild, and the characters had just arrived in the village of Dreg. It is this sort of small-ish village, fishing village on the River Hamath. Maybe about 300 people or so live here. And it's sort of got a little bit of a seedy reputation of being a place where there's maybe a little bit of crime going on. There is a state that exists on an island that apparently is almost like its own little independent nation, just sitting on this river, and there's a lot of interesting things about that the party had learned last time. That the madam there, it is a brothel that a lot of the sailors and villagers frequent, and it is apparently the madam there, Madam Shantywood, is sort of seen almost more of an authority figure than the proper designated Burkmaster of the village. So the party had arrived here in Dreg, basically en route. They're currently on an investigation to find a criminal of the Empire of Lumora, a woman named Marjoram Griver, who is an illusionist, who is said to have stolen something from the Empire that they something or maybe information that they want back, and so that is what has brought them to the Dolmenwood. Dreg is just a stop off on that journey. You needed supplies after being in the woods just a bit, so you had stopped at a kind of a general store that was run by a man named Oren Fairchild, who runs his little store with his wife Nella, has a 5-year-old named Sam, and he was very helpful, kind of helped you out not only with maybe some supplies, but providing you a little bit of information. And in gratitude, you had all offered to Oren that you would like to buy him a drink that night. He suggested that you seek out the Mermaid's Arms Inn. It is maybe less rough than some of the other ale houses that you could stay at. And so he suggested he'll meet you there this evening after he closes up the shop and things like that. And so that is basically where we are picking up. You have walked to the western side of the village, where the tavern sits, right across from the stone fountain that has kind of a body mermaid as its centerpiece. the kind of thing. People throw little pieces of coin or copper into the well and make a wish or whatever. And so you've entered now into the tavern proper, and there's probably maybe about a dozen or we'll say about a dozen or so people in here. Dark beams overhead, dark wood floorboards, decked out with woolen rugs all around. There's a cheery fireplace that is casting a rosy light about the tap room. And there is a sign that you see on the wall as you walk in that says, painted on it in letters, it says, "No gambling, lewdness, or sea shanties." And up at the bar, you can see a kind of burly looking man. He's got kind of black, kind of like this stubble. And maybe he hasn't shaved it a couple of days. He sort of looks maybe a little tired, a little fried. But as you walk in, he kind of perks up a bit, and he says, "Oi! I haven't seen any of you around here. You just coming off the road? Come on in. Take a load off. What can we get you?"
Well, so I'm Weymund. We are really just here to buy a friend of ours a beer, and also I'm interested in talking to a local pipe seller. I can't remember. I have it in my notes that there's a pipe seller that knows the jolly woodcutter.
"Oi!" And he like turns and he looks at a man that's sitting at the bar, and he says, "Ain't you say that you something of a pipeweed salesman, farrier?" And there's a man there who he looks like he's probably maybe in his like mid-50s. He looks pretty scruffy himself, but kind of more graying hair. And he's got sitting next to him, like near the bar stool where he's nursing a drink, there is a like a backpack and then a large sack that is sitting there. And he looks up and he says, "Yeah, I don't have any pipes, but you mentioned the Merry Mendicant."
Was that the woodcutter? I don't know if we knew their camp name.
The Merry Mendicant was I think it maybe got brought up that it was a like a pipeweed store or merchant,
right?
And so he basically perks up when you say that name. He says that he is a kind of an exporter for them, that he takes some of what they curate in their store and exports it to the lands where you're from. And so he'll tell you, "Yeah, I'm actually just heading out tomorrow myself down south, try to earn some coin from some of the heavy pockets of some of the rich folk from outside the wood."
And we have pipes that we stole. Took from the wizard, right? Or just a pipe.
Did you? I believe you said that you were gonna take one, right? Your character?
I think so. I think I wanted to take a pipe.
I know my character didn't take, or did we took some? Was it some drink?
We took the wine. So I've got a bottle of Inkling wine. I don't have my pipe on my list though.
Yeah, I don't have a pipe on my list. I've got the wine.
I'm not sure. I don't think I remember us taking a pipe, but we definitely took the wine.
That's too bad. I'll say, well, we're unfortunately pipeless, so I don't think we'll be customers of yours unless you've got some kind of edible tobacco.
Well, I've certainly seen stranger things in recent times than gnawing on some pipe tobacco.
No, do tell.
Oh. And he's kind of looking around and he's like, "Well, I guess I should share. It is quite odd. And you folk aren't around here, so maybe aren't from around here, so maybe it's of little consequence. But I I just recently encountered somebody that is collecting crystals, heating them up until they are vaporous and inhaling and taking it just as they would this pipe weed.
Crystals.
Breathing.
Smoking rocks. Who would have thunk of something like that?
Outlandish. Well, I'll pull out my quartz from my pocket and say, so when you see crystals, I call this a gem. This is a quartz. I'm looking for something similar, but with a red, deep red hue. What's called a ruby. Did you happen to see anything like that?
Have I seen a ruby before? Well, I'm sure at some time in my past I have. But if you're asking me if I know where you could buy one, I would suggest maybe you make your way to Prigwort or even out west to Lankshorn. You'll probably find yourself a proper jeweler.
But with this woodcutter, you didn't see any sort of gems of that sort?
Well, I didn't actually see it. He was in the market. Yeah, he reached out to the mendicant to try to procure this oddity that he wishes to indulge in.
What did the mendicant say?
Well, we
Did
don't.
you hear that?
We don't. That's not what we trade in. So it couldn't help him.
That's fair. But you do trade in tobacco, right?
I sure do. Are you looking to buy?
Well, I wouldn't mind, perhaps, as a token of gratitude, sponsoring a purchase for my friend here.
All
So
right.
what would you like?
So he will tell you. Why don't you roll a d20?
Okay, hang on just a second. thought I had my dice out here. I don't have them out. I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh man.
Actually, no.
Why don't you roll for
need-
me, and I
need
will
to grab
accept
some
it
too.
until I can grab my dice. Sorry.
I looked around very quickly,
Okay.
and I was lucky enough that they were right in front of me.
Yeah,
My
I
little-
keep them around.
My little
Sure.
mini dice.
I put them away because the cats were treating them like toys. Hang on.
Yes.
Sorry.
Did you want me to roll?
Dice to kitty cats.
I keep forgetting to bring my dice out, but I got them now.
Yeah, I actually had an in-person game, so I picked all this stuff up.
Nice.
I did roll a 19.
A 19. Okay.
If
Wow, that's
that's okay to accept.
Sure. Just looking for
Yes.
like what does he have? So he pulls out like within the big bag that he has, he's got kind of smaller kind of like little jars that are kind of for individual sale, and he pulls out this kind of copper red hued leaf that he hands to you, and he says that this is Westron weed, and a very good blend for right before bed. He says it will enhance the quality of your dreams. And he says this is very rare. I suppose I could part with, if you go up to the mendicant, the merry mendicant, you could probably get a better price. I'll sell it to you for what I would sell it for down south, and that would cost you a gold.
And how much? Just eyeballing it, how many uses do you think we get out of it?
We'll say it's enough for like three uses.
Okay. I think that's a fair price, personally, for the information and the tobacco. So I'll flip a coin out of the big bag. So I have a bag of 100. I'll crack it to 99.
And then I'll hand you a little jar. You can mark that down. That is Westron weed. And he apologizes for not having any pipes on him, or at least none that are for sale. He's probably smoking
The
himself.
friar would kind of step up and say, "Oh, it's fine. We'll find a. It's no problem. We'll find a apple and hollow it out. No biggie."
Brother, you always know the tricks of the trade.
Well, some when you're on the road, sometimes you have to improvise.
Well, I'm up for a drink, so I'd like to order. Marrow White Dark, please.
Marrow
You guys
White
enjoy the
Dark.
tobacco.
Yes,
we have it?
he has that. And so he'll put a wooden mug up on the counter, and inside a thick stout, black as midnight. Has sort of a smoky bacon aftertaste.
I'm just going to take a big,
And that'll cost 2 silver
long
pieces.
swallow and toss the silver on. Do I have the silver on me? I think I do. Yes.
So you
And
deduct the 2 silver from your sheet.
yep.
Glass of wine and a meal for myself, please.
All right. He will offer you what does he have? A glass of a wine called Lady Mauve. It is a delicate violet wine that tastes of plum and charred lavender.
That sounds nice.
Yes.
And that will run you 3 gold pieces.
For one glass?
For 1 glass.
It's very nice.
My good man, do you have any entertainment scheduled for this evening?
And Ogham, he just kind of scratches his beard and he says, we don't. We sort of have more of a reputation. It's more of a kind of social. We don't get a lot of. If you want entertainment, you might be able to find that at some of the other establishments in town. And he kind of says that with a little bit of a grin.
If you are interested, I have in my repertoire some nice background music, some flute playing. I can limit the singing and just offer some nice, offer a nice atmosphere for your patrons this evening, if you're interested.
He says, that does sound nice. Maybe something a little cheery might kind of help. We've had a lot of dreariness these past few months, and so that would be welcome. You know what? Don't worry about it. That one's on the house.
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas, by the way. You can get
Thomas.
the word out. We can bring more people around the town, perhaps.
Well, excellent. My name is Ogham. I am. My aunt runs this place, but if you need anything, give a holler. Maybe some food? Are you folks hungry at all?
Famished.
Yes,
Yes.
I will eat.
And he would offer to you as sort of a shepherd's pie type of meal, but it's made from some of the fish caught from the river. And he really sells you on the fact that this is all fresh. They have a couple of the fishermen supply them with food every morning. Their catch from the previous night.
Excellent.
And so if you're buying one of those, that'll be 3 silver pieces. And that'll be considered your food for the day.
And how are we? So, just a reminder for myself: we're tracking gold. I've got a bag of 99 gold, and
I have a bag of 125 and 5 coppers.
and that's all the gold. Like it's all collected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or no, it says minus 5 coppers, so it's 125 minus 5 coppers. I don't know what that
You
is.
have the gold. So you two have the gold.
Yeah, well, and
You
it's
gave it
minus
to the
2
two
silver.
smartest guys.
Yes.
So,
Okay, so
what
we'll grab the silver out of this bag too. 2
yeah, I was
silver.
gonna say
2
yeah,
silver as well.
Same for
I
here.
just
Well, I think Sir Silas had. I think we split it between 3 people, if I remember correctly. I think it was Sir Silas.
I think it was 2.
When was it 2? Just 2?
I think it was
I
just
think
2.
it was just us 2. Yeah. I think Sir Silas has relinquished the purse straps.
Mhm. Speaking of, we also should get him something to eat, right?
He's got his own purse at this point. I don't think I gave you his money
Okay,
when we
fair
divvied
enough.
it up, but yeah, he can take care of himself. And he will you'll see like he'll kind of like grab a he'll grab a beer as well. He'll get that same one that Lillibeth had, and he will purchase a little bit of the tobacco from this man here and go and sit in the corner. He hasn't said much since you've entered the tavern.
Is it? I get the feeling just from the way it's described. There's not that many people in this place.
No, maybe just a handful of people. This tavern is pretty far removed from the docks, and so it is the quieter tavern in town. Usually, maybe anybody that comes in off foot might stop here, or especially if they're unfamiliar with Dreg. This would be the first place they see, and so they might stay here if they're coming from Lankshorn to the west. But it has a reputation of being like, if you want to go and have some quiet conversation, this is the place that you go.
If you want to go party, you go to the place that allows sea shanties.
Yeah, there's like 2 other places that are a little bit more raucous.
Gotcha.
So Ogum, the bartender, he'll kind of look to the others like and complete any drink orders that you may have.
Oh, I just needed the one. Thank you.
What was this fancy drink for 3 gold pieces? That has my ears pricked up a little bit.
That was a wine.
Lady Mauve.
Lady Mauve.
It's expensive. I don't know.
It's delicious.
Not
I
as
can vouch
delicious
for that.
as this fish pie. It's awesome.
I guess I'll just take a beer and the fish pie.
All right. Let's see. The beer is 2 silver pieces.
Throw one on for me as well.
Yeah, I think the Friar might have one as well.
Awesome.
So it's a total of 8 silvers.
So some coin is being exchanged. He's getting you your beverages, and you start to imbibe. All of you can make a cons check. You just want to roll under your
All
con.
right.
I rolled a 5.
You're drunk. Oh wait, no, that's good. I'd be under.
Yeah.
I rolled
I'm a-
above my con.
Okay, so you're feeling a little tipsy.
I tied my con.
Maybe I'm if I'm tipsy, I'm probably going on and talking a little bit too much about my sword, my family sword, and I'm getting really close to you while I'm doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you tie, I think that you didn't make it then. So
Oh.
you're feeling tipsy.
Okay.
I
So
had
am I.
rolled under, so I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just watching this and smiling.
Oh.
So it likely doesn't matter, but you would suffer a -1 penalty to attack rolls, is what tipsy means. So you're feeling good.
Okay.
You never know.
Really
You
good
never
at
know with
Tavern.
Weymund around.
Yeah.
He may give the wink.
Yeah.
This is true.
Oh, those
We're
winks,
drunk and now
huh?
we're talking.
So as Thomas, you're sipping on that wine. You feel like all of your sorrow has just kind of washed away. You know, there was some dark times over the past couple of days getting here, and all of that worry, even any regrets maybe that you sometimes like might ruminate about, all of that just is gone as you're drinking this wine.
No regrets. Is what I have named this wine, right?
Yes.
Does that mean he's
Brother.
not going to throw it up?
Mm.
What
Yes.
Thomas, I've been meaning to ask you.
Yes.
All my close friends, I like to give nicknames. Can I call you Patches? Would that be offensive to you or endearing?
I wouldn't mind that. I've been called worse.
It's a glowing recommendation or endorsement.
Patches. Patches. Why patches?
Well, you have patches all over your cloak.
True that.
Why is that, anyways?
It's a work in progress. One of the things I had decided not too awful long before we had been incarcerated was when I have an event or go someplace, I grab a bit of cloth from something and put it on my cloak, and if it reminds me of things, and I guess gives me fodder for perhaps stories and such.
Agam, the bartender, is kind of listening, and he leans in. He says, "I'm sorry. Did I hear you say incarcerated? I'd like to hear a little bit more about that."
Oh shoot!
You can see he's just like he was kind of bored and kind of tired looking like seconds ago, but like when you say that, he's just like, "Oh."
Well,
We've all been accused of crimes we did not commit, and we have been given the chance to redeem our names from the crown, and we are doing so now. That is why we are free now.
That's
I
good.
committed my
Alright.
crime.
I said I did what I said. I didn't
yes.
I didn't pay those taxes, bro.
Guys, I was trying to make us look a little. Jeez.
And he's just like, "Wait, so you were imprisoned by the crown? You're talking about the empire?
Mm.
And they let
then-
you go?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
which one of you convinced them of that deal? That should be a tale
Well, you see
to be a part
the
of one
sad,
of your songs."
You see the sad sack in the corner over there. That's Sir Silas. It was all his doing. We just were tag-alongs.
Patches can weave a song about sad Sir Silas.
So
Add
Silas
that.
is like in the corner, like kind of shrugging, like, and he just rolls his eyes.
I don't really have one prepared on that yet, but and then I will kind of a cappella here bust into a little song about I don't know, somebody else being imprisoned wrongfully.
So
That
the
is
patrons are listening, and you get a applause once you've concluded the performance. And probably just about that time, we'll say about an hour has passed, and another individual enters the Mermaid's arms, and it is Oren. He's waves to you all. He's like enters right at the end of the performance, so he's kind of clapping along, and he makes his way over to those of you that have gathered at the bar, and he says, "Wow, you offered me a drink. I didn't know I was going to be getting a drink and a show. That is quite impressive."
Aim to
Well-
please.
Actually, you came in at just the right time. We were sharing our past woes of how we were previously incarcerated by the Empire and set free.
Previously incarcerated, you say?
That is true.
And he too
But,
is like fascinated by that.
Unjustly so for some of us, and for some of us maybe more justly, but we have a just mission now. And Sir Silas in the corner, as my friend has named him, he is leading this trek, but we are searching for somebody, a very dangerous person, and actually, perhaps you may have seen or have some information can help us. And I'll describe to them Marjorie Griver.
Sure. I don't know if I've ever given you a description exactly of her, but she has been described to you as being a woman in her mid-50s, maybe a little bit overweight, kind of frizzy hair, kind of graying hair. Hard to say what she was last wearing, as she's probably undercover, but certainly one of the objects that she would have with her would be a staff that would have a prismatic crystal as its headpiece. And you describe... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say someone who looks like your grandmother, except for maybe a little bit more capable of doing something when she's angry. That's how I would describe her.
Ogham is kind of like, oh, I guess it almost sounds a little bit like my aunt. Are you looking for what are you looking for her for?
Wait, your aunt has a staff crystal on it?
Oh no, I guess that part no, but
that's the key part.
He like calls out for his aunt, and you just kind of like hear some yelling from upstairs, just like, keep it down.
We found her.
And the
mission solved.
Oren would tell you that it doesn't sound like anybody that he's had any encounters with, and so there's a little bit of shouting back and forth between the nephew and the aunt.
She's a dangerous prismist. So someone who specializes in illusions and grandeur, glamours. So have you heard any rumors maybe of any strange going-ons? Maybe illusory
rumors. He says, who are you talking to exactly? Is it Oren that you're talking to?
Both of them.
They're both of them?
Because they're both in the conversation, right?
Yeah. The bartender's always kind of, I mean, he's keenly interested in, that you've got a story.
Now that he knows we've been incarcerated.
That's right.
Well, he probably in that conversation would insinuate to you a little bit with like kind of a wink and a nod that he also has like a bit of an unsavory past, and so he you're not like the typical person that comes into this tavern, and he likes that. Like that is some rougher people maybe have just walked in.
He's probably done some serious shit, and we're all like, "We didn't pay taxes." And I read a book.
We accidentally forged something.
He's like, I killed a man. Just die.
Oh, however. Well, one rumor, I know we haven't had a chance to talk about this yet because we just heard it, but one rumor might be a thread. People are smoking crystals. That sounds both illusory and enchanting, potentially, because who in their right mind would set a crystal on fire?
He tells
True.
you, he says, illusory. I don't know about illusory. And this is the bartender. But I have heard, and he's going to tell you, and you've heard this already. He's gonna say something about Bogwit Manor to the southeast, and he'll say, I've heard some strange things coming out of there. You know, nobles are always have a target on their back for thievery and such, and I know some people in the game, and none of them would dare go there. And as that comes up, you can see Oren kind of eyes you all, and you know it's probably because he saw that you had that bowl that he wouldn't buy, and so he's just kind of like, he is silent. He doesn't add anything to the conversation, but he gives you all kind of the, oh. So now maybe he's thinking that you like robbed the place or whatever, but
On that note, who has the bowl?
Oh,
The two brothers.
Mm.
They take turns
We
sharing.
keep trading it. We like
Yes,
it very
yes.
much.
Oh, your turn, brother.
breathe in.
It is porcelain, so we do use it for certain things.
That was more than I cared to know. However, did I see Oren do this sort of like look around the table?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to try and catch the eyes of both of the brothers because I don't know which one of you has it. So, do you want to share what we know?
Oh, you mean about this bowl here?
Oh, I've been looking for that. You have it.
Does it still have the moss on it and like?
No,
we
we burnt everything off and cleaned it thoroughly. It just has the symbol of the house, I think, on it.
Got it.
And how did we acquire this again? We acquired it
From the goblins.
Goblins.
The goblins.
Yeah.
We won it in our game.
Ah, yeah. And I will probably tell them that we acquired this from slaying some goblins.
Okay, you're only doubling down and making him more interested in you, because then he's like, you had a run-in with some goblins?
Well, let's just say we didn't exactly know what we were getting into when we got here. And through a series of quick introductions to things like cats that speak and towers that are empty but welcoming, we also ran into goblins.
We also slew a Grimalkin. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm putting my hand over my eyes.
I'm like engaging in this, like, I'm like, oh, okay. They think
You're
that's
liking the
interesting.
attention.
Yeah, liking
Yeah.
the attention.
So Agam just he just pours you all a second round of whatever you were drinking and puts it out with apparently no intention of collecting any coin from you. Like he's almost like neglectful a bit of the other patrons, that they have to like kind of like, summon him a bit, and they're looking a little annoyed because he's so wrapped up with you guys.
We're in danger of turning this quiet tavern into a rowdy tavern.
Yeah.
So you all could make con checks again if you're gonna drink your second drink.
Oh boy.
What happens if you fail a second time?
It's a scale. Like, it's a scale of drunkenness.
So
I failed again.
So is this swallows, or is this like a whole nother second drink? Because I only go out the one.
The process is like over the course, if you're going to drink the drink, over the course of the next hour or so, you're...
So I succeeded.
My con is high as well. Like, I'm just rolling what would be, I guess, good rolls, but not really.
So then, if you failed a second time, you are now drunk. The effects are that you have a -1 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws, but you gain 1d4 bonus hit points.
Oh, I also failed, so the brothers are getting slizzard right now.
I once again saved, and so I'm just looking on.
You can hold your own.
Yeah.
I can hold my own.
You know, I had a sword.
Brother, I've been telling you. Listen.
My father's father had this sword.
Oh, well, it
did save her. That's good. That's good.
It did. It did. I'm grateful. I'm alive because of your sword.
Ogum is like, you've lost your sword?
My
Oh.
sword.
Why don't you just buy a new sword?
The friar's gonna just
family's sword is
kind of lean on his brother a bit and kind of.
It's made of it's like a special.
It's not important. It's not important.
Sir Silas is in the corner.
Anything.
Like the one thing he says is just dark steel ore.
Dark steel. That's right.
And
it
then,
doesn't mean anything. The sword is not important, brother.
And then
you.
It's important.
Ogum says, dark steel. You know, I hear all the time from people coming and going from here that there is a notable blacksmith out in Lakeshore to the west of here.
Lakeshore?
Ask me about it again in the morning, and I'll get you his name.
Okay. Okay. This guy here. This guy.
Perhaps a water for my friend.
He'll go and procure some water for him. And, hey, Lord Gasumba, thank you so much for the raid. We got the whole Lord Gasumba crew dropping in on us here this morning. Thanks for coming and joining us. Playing some old school essentials. We're playing in the Dolmenwood campaign setting that Gavin Norman has put together. And we're having a lot of fun with it so far. Thanks for coming and joining us. Hope you all had a good stream here to start off the weekend. So maybe at about the time when things are getting a little sloppy and some of you are getting a little inebriated, you hear a bit of commotion coming from just outside the tavern, some shouting.
Quiet, brother. Quiet.
It might be the Yellow Jackets.
Did you hear that?
Oh, right.
But somebody could be in danger. We have to protect the
innocent.
Yes. Thank you, Lillibeth.
We don't know that they're innocent.
I don't know if we're in a great position to protect, but I guess it doesn't hurt to poke our heads out and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Find a back way out of the tavern.
Does anybody else in the bar seem to move towards the door, or what's their reaction to this?
The general demeanor around the bar is kind of, people are obviously noticing it, but it's almost like we're going to turn a blind eye to that. We don't want to get involved in whatever that is. Everyone kind of just tries to maintain concentration on the conversation that they're having in front of them and just ignore it.
I will just lean to somebody and tap them on the shoulder and say, "You have any idea what's going on out there?"
Oh, likely it is. It is likely Brother Hogbeard and his followers, his zealots.
No.
Maybe somebody.
Are they ever known to get violent?
Oh yes, indeed.
We must stop them. No, we cannot allow this to happen. And he just stands up, kind of with a swing, kind of almost drops the stool as he stands, and he's like, "No, we cannot stand for this. It's not correct what they're doing. They're breaking. We must go, brother."
Yes.
Let's go.
To protect the innocents.
And
Wait.
and the brothers are going out.
All right. So the two of you are charging out there to see what's up.
Oh, Lillibeth is going like this and saying, "Is there a back way out of the tavern? Is there a back way out of the tavern?"
Not
And
that
I
you
look
see
to
the-
Sir Silas to see what he's doing.
He's standing at this point and kind of looking out the window. Pause real quick because I just want to acknowledge some follows here. Thank you, Orchid Twilight, for following, and thanks, Began1 for following. Appreciate you joining us here this morning.
Huzzah.
And Sir Silas is looking out the window, and he's kind of reporting on what he sees. And he says, looks like 4 of them. Definitely all wearing Hogbeard's tabard. It looks like they're drowning a man in the fountain.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we're
And so Sir Silas will follow suit. Hasn't drawn sword or anything like that, but follows out the front door. And there you can see, there's 4 people. There's 2 guys that have a man. He's got kind of like a really long, kind of scraggly, dirty-looking beard. His clothes are tattered. He just has kind of the demeanor and look of a beggar. And they've both got him by like the scruff of his neck, and they keep dunking him in the fountain face down. And then there's a larger man. You don't see Brother Hogbeard among these 4, but there's a larger man that is just like yelling at him and saying, "Thievery is against the laws of the one true God. You must repent." And he's just shouting and quoting scripture and shouting at him.
I'll approach and just say, "Oh, you found Grandpa. Oh my God, Grandpa Jonas. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, he's lost his wits, I'm sure. Please, can I have him back? I'll take him back home. And what has he done? I'll pay for anything that he's done."
He's just, you are not, this is not your kin. All of his family has abandoned him a long time ago, the drunk, scraping away at the bottom of the fountain for coin that doesn't belong to him. Like, dunking him.
All right, pig's breath. It's time for you to unhand that man. Or we will be forced to make you.
You would dare interfere with the dispensing of the one true God's justice?
Well, hold on there. Who are you to talk about the one true God? I am a man of faith and principle. My faith is not. Your faith is not subject to such treachery. What is wrong with you?
As my brother. Oh, sorry. While he's distracting them, I'm gonna go ahead and try to grab the guy, like and forcibly like pull him while my brother's kind of drunk and talking to them.
Yeah, so you move
back.
over and you yank him out and away from the fountain, and all 4 of these men, it's kind of like the 2 gangs are kind of lining up, like they're just kind of like staring you down, and the one guy's just like, you managed to wrest him away, the homeless man, to safety, and the larger man that is a part of one of these zealots is just kind of giving it to the friar a little bit for being drunk, and he's like, you need to be a role model for these people, Friar. They look to you. What example are you setting?
I'm not drowning people. I'm inside, spreading cheer. Not going to people's, not taking people and almost half there, beating them to death and killing them?
They,
This is not the way of the true God.
it's
Think
almost
of. Go ahead.
it's almost like your drunkenness has disarmed them a bit, and they're sort of looking at you, almost like pitying you, I guess. And they get less aggressive, and they kind of back off, and they just shake their heads, and they say, "When the corruption of the Nag Lord has taken even the faithful, this is a sign that we are all doomed."
We're not nagging anybody. You're nagging everybody. You're the Nag Lord. Get out of here.
They withdraw, and they mosey on their way.
He's gonna
See,
look back to his brother, and the rest go, "Oh, I guess it worked. They listened, I guess. Repent!
Yeah.
Repent for what you've done." He just yells back as they leave. He's not reading that social situation that they pity him at all. He thinks he got through to them.
I'll take one trembling hand off of my sword hilt and just kind of like grab it and like study it. That went well.
They were scared of us. Very scared of us.
At
Right.
this point, I am hoping that I actually got directions for a back way out of the tavern. Did I?
Not really, unless you're gonna cut through like the kitchen or something like that.
I'm going to cut through the kitchen and come out and be on the side observing this from the street, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because I wanted to position myself being the only, I think, semi-clear-headed person at this point other than Tom. And I'm going to just drop my bow, which I had held pretty steady at that point and aimed at the yellow jackets, and walk back inside the inn.
And it is, at this point, it would be dark. The sun will have set. And so visibility outside is really just coming from the stars above and maybe a little bit of light from a couple of lanterns that sit outside the tavern. It's very hazy out. I think I described that last time as kind of a smoky air about. And kind of relatively cooler weather, maybe more kind of like 50 degrees or so.
Is the guy that they were dunking, is he still there?
He's still
leaning against the fountain?
there. And he's just sort of like tentatively like looking at you all. He kind of makes he said, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I think they mean to drown me. I'm just so hungry."
There was a fire inside and everything, like a little fireplace in the
Yeah, there's a
tavern?
fireplace.
I would say, well, come on, let's go inside and get you dry. We'll
Thank
get you
you.
something to eat.
He's shivering, and he'll come inside the tavern with you. There's sort
What's
of a
your
bit
name,
of
friend?
applause from the other patrons when you come in, that they sort of approve how you handled the situation.
He's gonna drunkenly not point to himself and shake his head no, and then point up and say, "It was him. It was him."
Everybody does a sign to the one true God.
What's your name, friend?
He will tell you his name is Vern.
Vern.
Burn.
Burn.
Hey, Vern. Sorry.
I'm so cold and I'm so hungry. I was just trying to get a few copper from the fountain that I might be able to buy some bread.
I think we can take care of you tonight, and let's have 2 more ales and then a meal for our friend Vern. One of the ales is for me.
And that'll run you 8 silver pieces total.
And that's, is it 10 silver to a copper? I mean, to a gold?
Yes.
Whoa,
Yep.
I'm thinking drunk. All right, I'm just going to toss a gold for your troubles and for tonight. Thank you.
I would like to buy the homeless gentleman the glass of wine that takes away all of your sorrows, because he has had a rough night.
Yeah, so 3 gold pieces, and he will take that, and he is like in your debt. He's just like telling you how much he appreciates you, and he says, I will not forget this. I know maybe I made some mistakes in my past, and I will rededicate myself to getting off my feet, and once I'm back on my feet, I'll repay this tenfold.
There's no need to repay. Just do your best and get on your feet. You know.
How
It's
are you
not-
gonna do it? Hold on. It's not just that simple. Saying it. How are you? He's just leaning over, like on the beggar. How? What steps do you have in mind?
So I don't know. I don't know. But I'll find my way.
What did you
Well-
do before this? How did you find yourself in this state?
Well, I used to be a fisherman myself. Maybe not that. We'll say he was like a merchant who his boat sank while he was maybe ferrying whatever he ships down south. And so he's been without a boat, and that was his way of making his living. And maybe all of this happened nearby Dreg, and so he's been kind of waylaid here. And thank you so much for the follow, Scala Grimmer. Thanks for joining us here this morning. So you have a little bit of conversation with him, and he'll tell you some of his mundane troubles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And I think eventually he will. The father will be going, and you'll hear him talking about different types of referencing scriptures and how it tells people to be meek and gentle and kind and stuff like that. He's going to just be talking about that. And eventually he's going to ask him, where is this father I've heard so much about, this Father Handlewreath? He allows this to happen in his community?
I'm sorry, who were you asking this of?
I'm referring to Father Handlewreath. He was told that he is.
Yeah, who are you talking to though?
I'm speaking to the drunk and whoever's listening, or not the drunk. I'm sorry. I'm the drunk.
So you are speaking,
He's speaking
to the drunk.
himself.
I'm also drunk, by the way. I failed my con check.
Okay.
He'd be speaking to the homeless gentleman.
He just would say, I don't really know. You know, he's
Well,
not really from.
Mhm.
You're probably not going to get a ton of info from
Mhm.
that particular character.
Vern. Once
Yeah.
he says that, then he's gonna turn and look to the other two that they've been talking to.
Okay.
And where is this father?
I think Oren would be able to tell you that. Well, he's an older priest, and I hate to speak ill of a man of the cloth, but Father Handlewreath is maybe sort of seated. Maybe his passion for things just isn't what it used to be. He's maybe fine closing himself up in the parish and trying to spend his last moments in peace rather than deal with trying to wrangle Brother Hogbeard under the fold.
It does sound like Brother Pig's Breath is quite the nuisance to deal with for one man.
Well, He wasn't always that way. This is more recent that he's become so aggressive. I mean, he was always, don't get me wrong, him and his ilk, I do believe they believe in what they are doing, and they believe that what they are doing will honor the one true God. But obviously their methods are a nuisance, to say the least.
Oh, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, their
And the one
beliefs
true
and their
God is absolute power.
I mean, I am not usually one to come to my agree 100% with my brother when it comes to the church, but if you look at him, he's not corrupted. I can tell you that. He is a fine man who means to do good for the people.
He's an excellent man.
Yes, and his excellence may not have anything to do, apologies, Friar, with the one true God, other than your brother's excellence in interpreting the words that are written on paper. So, Mr. Hog's Breath? I'm sorry, Pig's Breath?
Brother
Pig's breath.
Hogbeard?
Yes, him. Perhaps he's unable to read clearly and is unable to fully understand the words in the same way that our companion here is able to understand them. And so his intent and his belief are corrupt. So why do you guys let him do it? And I'm looking straight at Orin and Ogum.
They would be like, well, we don't have any authority over them. It would Barkmaster Monocles, who is in charge of the constabulary. But they
Well, do you
haven't.
pay him for that?
Do I pay who?
Berkmeister.
We'll pay taxes. And those...
Exactly. Who gives them the power? Where do you think they get that from?
You start to go down this line of like conversation, and they're just like, "Hey, man, like,
let me hand you my pamphlet."
Get out and vote.
Yeah,
No.
probably somewhere in that there'll be some debate about philosophy and self-governance and blah 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 blah. But ultimately, maybe Ogum would jump in and say, I mean, ultimately the Burkmaster Monocles answers to he answers to his masters as well, and just as he has maybe abandoned, maybe not abandoned maybe isn't the right word, but as he's turned a neglectful eye to maintaining order here in Dreg, his masters aren't much better. And he would tell you that the Burkmaster, his authority comes from Lord Malbleet, who is a goat, one of the goat lords, who this Dreg officially is within their territory.
That's very useful information.
But the goat folk are kind of turned internally on their own matters and are squabbling a bit. And he would say it pretty generally like that too. Like he doesn't really understand their politics and like what's really going on. That's kind of far removed from Dreg. But he would say his understanding is that the various goat folk lords are at odds with each other. And then,
So then
they're feeling the end result of all that.
So it sounds like to me then that there's not a lot of attention on Dreg. So there's nothing stopping you from taking Father Pigbrain and throwing his ass out on the street. outside the town, and throw them in the river.
Well,
Let them float downstream.
he has his masters as well. He is a part of the Church of the One True God. That isn't exactly a, maybe he's misbehaving, but it is within their purview to punish him. And
so, if I'm hearing you right, then perhaps our best way forward together and after a good night's sleep is to find one or both of these leaders. They may have better information, and we can help the town instead of interrupting one beating at a time.
Oren would just look at you curiously and be like, you lot are very interesting, to say the least. You come with some stories that some origins, let's say, that we have not come by here, and you stop in on your way, it sounds like, for some important mission, and taking time out of all of that to leave some good here.
This is why we were all incarcerated.
I see. Well, I suppose the world needs that, and if you were to be able to do something about these affairs, we would very much be in your debt.
No,
He kind of raises his glass to you.
Not in your debt. It's what we are all taught as followers of the one true God. We just want to set things right. These scoundrels are giving are using excuses of religion to cause havoc.
All that we ask is that once this place is free from this negative influence, is that you help us. And if you see Marjorie MacGyver,
Oh my God.
you will keep her here for us until we get her.
Oh. Or at least let us know that she's here. I can understand that somebody that the Empire has sent, the 5 of us 6 of us chasing after might be a little bit much for you guys to keep under control. I wouldn't expect that anyway. I just want you guys to take up your own causes. And so,
Weymund, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
No, I was just gonna say, Weymund, you had bought two extra beers, right? Or you bought another 2 beers?
I bought 2. Originally, one was for Vern, but then he got the fancy glass of wine, and then I drank one of the beers.
He's gonna go over and just take the glass, and while they're talking, he'll like pour like a pitcher, just pour it in his brother's mug, and pour half in his, and just send it back, and just pat you on the back, like, and just walk back towards the fire.
Cheers.
Probably at this point, Sir Silas will have stood up and come to the bar, and he'll say, I think it's about time that I turn in. What do we owe you for the rooms? And so he'll get down to business with Ogham about the room situation. Basically here they've got 3 2-bedroom rooms and then one bedroom that is currently being reserved for the tobacco merchant. So there are three rooms in total that have 2 beds each. That will run you, let's just see. Total of 12 silver pieces. So gold and 2 silver.
Okay. I'll take
You got
it. Bag, yep. Because that'll bring me down to exactly 119 gold pieces.
Nice.
One question that I do have for Ogum that I would ask is how many men or women, how many people does Hogsbeard command?
Let's see. That is a good question. We'll say a dozen. We'll say 12 or so.
Mm. Well, I will prepare
Most of
colors
them are not, like, his followers aren't necessarily, like, Brother Hogbeard is officially like a priest within the Order of the One True God, but like his zealots aren't necessarily. A lot of them are like reformed thieves themselves, or sailors, or, you know, people probably that he's bullied with violence. You know, and he's sort of brought into his fold.
Making Dreg great again.
So, anything else you'd like to do before you turn in for the night?
Decide who's sleeping where. I feel a little awkward at this.
I'll probably share a room with my brother. We'll probably stay up a little bit late, being drunk and rowdy a little, and then share a room.
Sir Silas would offer that he's willing to sleep on the floor of the third room with Weymund and Thomas.
Well, that seems silly. You won't get a good night's sleep.
Well, I've got the bedroll. It'll be... I spent the past several years sleeping on the cold, hard stone floor. The comforts of this place already make that much more agreeable to me. So,
Well, to be blunt, Lillibeth, we've seen everything, so I don't think bunking with you is going to be problematic.
I was about to say the same myself, and I would feel more comfortable sleeping in a room with somebody else than by myself. So, but I didn't. Oh, thank you. I just didn't want anybody to have to feel uncomfortable about bunking with me. So I'll have you as a roommate. I mean, you know. Thanks.
well, thank you so much for the raid. The Dragon's Lair. I wonder if I am pronouncing this right. The Dragon Cower. Thank you so much. We'll give you the shout out here. Thanks for bringing all your folks over to come hang out with us. We're playing some old school essentials. We're playing in the Dolmenwood setting from Gavin Norman and having quite a bit of fun with it. And thank you so much for all the follows. That is so awesome.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Yeah, and I will absolutely just pass out cold in the bed, snoring like face down.
And one thing that was never really, I guess, stated, but I mean, at some point after all the business, I was going to do my full set of flute music, cheery, and all of that. So, attempting for tips.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he get any tips, Alex?
Sorry, I'm just trying to give all the people here that are following and everything some info about the channel. No, you probably wouldn't get any tips. It's not really customary for that. Like, you'll have, the bartender will have given you your drinks, but none of these folks here are necessarily expecting a show. This is a little bit of a different kind of tavern, but you'll get some free drinks and such. Just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us here. Thank you for all the follows. A little rundown on our channel. We are a gaming group. We play a lot of D&D 5e. We're doing something a little different this morning and playing old school essentials, but we play Dungeon Crawl Classics. We've played we try to dip our toes into a lot of different things. And we also, another big feature of our channel is we run a community campaign that is really open to anybody. We'll post signups in our Discord server, and folks from really anybody is eligible to sign up for those games. So if you're interested in playing with us, be sure to join our Discord server and say hi in the lobby, and we'll hook you up with how to engage with us and how to just have fun and hang out with us and talk about tabletop games. All right, so you've got kind of your arrangements set up. Who's rooming where? You're settling in for the night. Do you all need a break at this point? Or, okay, I'm seeing some head nods. So we are going to take just a short break here, folks. We'll be right back. And when we return, I'm going to tell you about some dreams that some of you are having. So we'll be right back.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on this Saturday morning. Hope your weekend is starting off well. And thank you for joining us here for Dolmenwood. So where we last left off, you all had decided to kind of turn in for the night. Had some conversations about kind of divvying up the rooms and such. And so Weymund and Thomas, the two of you, are bunking up with Sir Silas, who's taken to the floor, it sounds like.
I'm with Lillibeth.
Oh, you're with you're with Lillibeth. Okay. So it is then Thomas, you and Sir Silas that are kind of, he's just sort of getting comfortable. Probably still has his armor and such on, and he's kind of getting a little comfortable right before bed.
Well, first off, I would offer to assist him in removing his metal armor and such. I know that's a task. And have a conversation with him, say, Sir Silas. I'm not certain if it was the libations that hit our companions' heads and everything, but it's a bit worrisome to me to enter into a town for a few hours and begin talking about, I guess, changing the political structure. It might be a good idea that we keep a bit of a lower profile, perhaps. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Frankly, I would agree. I was sitting there in the corner kind of enjoying the solace of this place, thinking the exact thought that it was so nice to be in a tavern like this and not have questions of politics come up. It's been a long time since I felt that, you know. The War of Brothers really divided our nation. It divided the noble houses. I have not felt so comfortable in a place as I have here, knowing that there weren't people eyeballing me from across the tavern, wondering about my loyalty or thinking about stabbing me in the back. But it seems probably foolish, as you say, to come in here and start taking sides in matters that we don't truly understand. Maybe we can revisit this in the morning with our comrades. We may be unnecessarily complicating our mission.
Okay. Very good.
It seems that the others are very interested in getting involved, however. There may be a bit of good that we could do here. I'm just not sure we have the complete picture. They said that at one time, it seems that maybe Brother Hogbeard is filling a gap. If there is no law and order being dispensed, maybe he's just taking it a little bit too far, but he's stepping up to fill a role that isn't being filled. I don't know. I have half a mind to try to persuade the others just move on and get on with our business, but I'm not sure. Having spent a cell with all of you for as long as I have, I somewhat doubt that argument is going to be won.
Yes, some of our companions seem like a dog with a bone on some of these matters. So,
well,
but
we'll
all right.
see. It may be, as you say, just the libations that prompted some maybe heroic delusions of grandeur. And with that, he will put out the light, and we'll fade to dark.
Okay.
And we're gonna start here with a dream that Sir Geoffrey is having. And so you kind of just are entering into that quasi passed out, kind of drunk sleep. But at some point during the night, as you are dreaming, you have a dream that is crystal clear to you, almost feels real, as you gaze upon kind of a dreamy glade where there is a beautiful elf maiden clad in a white gown that is smiling kind of bashfully at you. But she looks up and she kind of like gestures for you to join her. And in the dream, you move forward, and she looks at you with her blue eyes, and she holds out her hand, and she says, "Would you care to join me in a dance? Here, take my hand. Don't be afraid." And then together you join hands, and you start kind of like basic ballroom dancing. Her movements are very graceful. It's almost like she's kind of taking the lead, and it reminds you, like it kind of fills you with this feeling of being back with the noble house that you served, and some of their galas and some of their social events where this would be commonplace. And this feeling of dancing, and you're talking, you're jovial, it seems to last for hours, but at some point it has to end. And you can kind of feel like the dream starting to kind of darken, or the bright light of this place is starting to fade, and you're in the final moments of the dream. But she looks out at you one last time, and she says, "You, Geoffrey, are the finest, loveliest, tenderest, most beautiful person that I have ever met. And I hope that I will get to see you again one day." And she kisses your forehead right as you kind of come to consciousness in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna sit there in bed for a while after that. Just like, whoa, Twitter pated, and like you said, it felt so real. I'm almost wondering if I've come under some sort of enchantment, or if I'm wondering if life is but a dream, and that was the reality that I should be in.
There's like a lingering wanting in your heart. Like it felt so real that you're hoping maybe she'll just be downstairs when you make your way down there for breakfast.
Yeah, and I'll probably dapper myself up a little extra in that hope before heading down.
I would say all of you, the rest of you probably have fairly cloudy dreams, unsettling, kind of vague dreams that don't really have like a sense of story or anything like that, except for Thomas. You have a dream. You have a dream of walking through the forest on a road. But unlike the other dream, it is dark. You don't get the sense that it's nighttime, just like overcast. There's it's sort of dim, and you're with your other companions, and Sir Silas is among them, and you're kind of leading the group, it seems. And as you look back, you could just see this like kind of this smoke and smog, this kind of inky black vapor that seems to be kind of crawling and following real close to the group. And as you're looking back, you can feel yourself kind of like, come on, hurry. And you're trying to gesture to them to walk faster. They don't really seem to be aware of the danger. And they're not really mirroring that sense of urgency. And as you're just desperately trying to call at them, you can see this smoke kind of rises up and takes form of a hand, and it grabs at Sir Silas, and it just blankets him. It's just like opaque. And as it withdraws, you just see him kind of dissolve into dust. And then you wake up.
Well, as I startle awake, I look to make sure that he is still in the other bed.
He's actually sitting up, and he's kind of like putting his gear back on, like readying himself for the day. And he just kind of looks at you because you jolt up. Bit of the midnight terrors, or the bit of a dream startle you. You look white as a ghost.
Yes, it was. I had a terrible dream. It almost seemed. I kind of shake my head. It seemed like an omen that you were in danger. I shake my head and say, dreams can be strange. There's usually not much meaning, but I guess I fear perhaps you may be in danger. Please be on the lookout.
Well, maybe it's just a bit of breakfast might be able to mend. I certainly could eat. I didn't get a good rest myself, so let's go downstairs and join the others. And as you all are coming down, everybody basically except for Sir Geoffrey didn't have a great night. Does anybody still have like hit points that they were down? I think we're all good, right? So
Yeah.
you make your way downstairs to the tavern. And it's pretty much cleared out. There aren't really I guess maybe the tobacco merchant is, or the pipeweed merchant is still there. He's eating a kind of a bowl of porridge and an apple. And you can see Ogham is there. Let's see, let's roll a d6. Okay. Ogham is there, and he's talking with Oren's wife. You would recognize her from the day before when you were in the store. She is there, and also there's a 5-year-old. The son is kind of crawling up onto one of the stools and kind of playing with some mugs or something on the table. And she's just talking with Ogham, and she has kind of a concerned look on her face. And Ogham just looks to you all as you're coming down. And he says, "Oi, Oren left just as you guys were going to bed, right?"
I thought
I
so.
believe that's correct.
He seemed fine. And she's saying he never made it home last night. If he's not here, then you're sure he didn't say anything to indicate, was he stopping off somewhere else before? And she's just asking a lot of kind of fretful questions, and you're getting the sense that Oren must not have made it home last night.
I'm going to quietly and kind of to the side nudge my brother and be like, we need to find out where the Yellow Jackets keep their prisoners, because they may have scooped him up. Trying to get back at maybe us. Maybe we made
He's just kind of rubbing his temples.
Yeah.
Yes, brother. We might. Yeah, we might. That's what I was thinking as well. Excuse me, ma'am. Where we intend to help you look for your husband. Any places you think someone might be intercepted or whatnot, maybe placed somewhere.
And you can see she just starts to weep. You don't think he would have gone to Madame Shantywood's? He's not that kind of man. It's the only thought that is dominating my mind right now is that he might still be there. Was he drunk when he left? And Ogum, like, he really just had one drink while he was here, so he was not not intoxicated.
Oh no. I am sure he is fine. Where have you looked already? Anywhere, or is this your first stop?
I just came here. This is where he said he was coming to meet you all after we closed up the store. I can't think of another reasonable place that he would have gone.
Who
Uh,
did he?
Sorry, I apologize. I was gonna look. Vern isn't around anymore, right?
Vern is not around anymore.
Okay.
The 5-year-old knocks over someone's beverage, and she goes to kind of tend to him. No, Sam, no.
So, madam, we only talked to your husband for a short period of time, but I remember at the beginning of our conversation, he was talking about people that he traded with here or worked with here to bring his goods together. Do you know the name of that person?
So you're referencing the merchant. He's here in the tavern.
He's here in the tavern.
Yep. Marshall Hill.
Okay.
Well, I think that we should take a wide sweep of the path home, see if maybe he fell, or if maybe he had more to drink than we noticed. Some of us were a bit inebriated last night, so he could have passed out someplace. We'll just take a wide sweep. I give like a knowing look to everybody else because I'm on the same page that this is probably not related to that. But I'm sure we'll find him. It's very possible that maybe he, had to take a rest or stop and felt ill. So we'll find him.
She gives you her undying gratitude and lets you know that she's gonna go back to the store and open up, and that's where she'll be. And she says, if any news, anything that you find at all, like, to give her the update. So she'll take Sam and leave. So the group is gonna go and kind of do a cursory look around town.
Yeah, I mean
Geoffrey is absolutely convinced that in their speed to get involved in this situation, that they may have put a target on Oren now. And he really feels like the Yellow Jackets purposefully picked him up on the way home in retaliation against us.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to take a look, but I think that we should first start with your original idea of where do they keep their prisoners.
This will probably lead Sir Silas at some point to bring up the conversation that him and Thomas had earlier in private and suggest that it may have been a little too bold in some of the conversation we were having. We're having borderline revolutionary talk in the very first village into Dolmenwood that we had, and we in our haste to do good, he might suggest we might do great harm if we're not delicate, and furthermore that ultimately your your goal in the Dolmenwood maybe isn't to solve their problems, but being a knight, he still believes very firmly that his oath to uphold good will. He's willing to do. If there is an injustice happening, he would want to correct it. He would just say, maybe we need to have a more measured path forward when we decide as a group to do that.
Yeah, we've definitely a couple groups in our party, myself included, have definitely made some decisions for the group pretty quickly. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, so Sir Silas, I can say that perhaps my method of questioning would give the impression that I was really concerned about seditious overthrow of the local government, but in truth, my goal was simply to find out who was in charge and who to talk to. So I will try and be more clear in my questioning instead of coming at it sideways.
And he'll say, nonetheless, what has happened. We can't know. He'll say, we can't know
That's
whether Oren's fate is tied to anything we said last night, but I do believe we have a duty to find out for his family what happened to him.
We do.
And so you take to the streets of Dreg, and you're kind of walking about. Let's see. Let me just. I'll use a little marker. I don't know if are any of you in Foundry. A couple of you.
I am actually not.
Basically, as you start to make your way, maybe you start to make your way down this way. I guess you can tell me. Do you want to kind of... There's kind of a road that leads north or south if you want to kind of ring the perimeter of town. Which way would you want to go?
We came in from the south, so we're kind of familiar with that area.
I think so.
And that was where we first met the yellow coats, right? So
that's right.
Yeah. So
I'd say south, probably south first.
Oh, we're going south first. Okay.
And we're staying together.
Yes, I mean, the Friar is definitely gonna stay with you all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Geoffrey is having had such a good night and maybe having got a little too drunk the night before. He's acutely aware of not being too jumping into things too quickly here now.
Right.
So was it the logic that you're heading south, the familiar part first?
I think so.
Okay.
And towards the area where maybe we encountered the Yellow Jackets in the first place.
Sure. So you can make your way down to the docks. Just real quick, right in the center of town, like the largest building in the town proper is definitely this manor house that is the Burkmaster's Manor. I'm sure that came up in conversation last night. As you're making your way around to the southern part of the village, a lot of residences and such. And once you get down to the docks, you will have made your way to Shadgary's Shack, which is one of the rougher inns. And there, once again, you'll see Brother Hogbeard and... it's just Brother Hogbeard and one other person out here early. Again, just giving their spiel to some of the sailors that are coming and going and warning them of the dangers of Chateau Shantywood. And as you are coming around, he again approaches you and he says, Friar Fitzpatrick, I see you have reconsidered to join us in preaching and spreading the good word of the one true God.
Actually, I mean, that is what I do, yes. Join you. Now, not at this time, but maybe you might be able to help us. We are looking for a certain someone that did not arrive home last night.
Someone who didn't arrive home?
No, we are looking for...
Someone you met and encountered while you were getting soaked, Father. Or Friar.
So?
I heard all about it. You were drunk.
Me? Are you sure? That doesn't sound like me.
He like turns to the one guy that's with him. And the guy that's with him is like, I saw you. You were drinking and getting belligerent.
No, not me. A man of the God, a man of the one true God. No. Come on. We are looking for someone. Either way.
Okay.
He'd ask. He'd say, Alman, good man. We're wondering maybe if you all might have seen him.
Orin, I know him well. He was out with you. You led him down a path of sin, and now he's gone missing. This is exactly what we are talking about. Corruption. Corrupting the good people of this town. Friar, you have lost your way. His disappearance is on you.
So, have you seen him?
I know not where he is, but whatever it is, whatever fate befell him, you are responsible.
Brother Hogsbeard, you keep eyes on the docks, yes, to see who goes to...
We do.
The island. You did not see Orin head that way. His wife was worried about that.
Not that I have seen. I would not think he is a good family man. I would be shocked if he would frequent that place.
Father, we ran into a few of your compatriots outside of the inn last night, and I was wondering if maybe we could ask them a few questions.
Well,
do you know who that might be? Oh, you're obviously one of them, and I'll point at the guy who was yelling at the friar.
Yeah, he is one of them. He'll tell you that the others are likely still resting. They were on the late night watch.
It would be very helpful for us to interview them, ask them questions. Have they seen Orin or anyone else suspicious at night around the inn?
Is there a god house around? I mean, you cannot be the only. Okay.
There is the Church of St. Wick is just a short distance away. It's the high peaked building right by the docks, kind of a little bit of a sagging roof. But yeah, it is just a short distance from where you currently stand.
And the tavern that the brother Pig's Breath is standing outside of it, it's open for business. People are going in and out.
Yeah, it's open for business.
Right now, Geoffrey is thinking, if the Yellow Jackets either don't have him or don't know where he is, that perhaps talking to some of the people down here, they may have some more information.
Sounds wise.
And which place was his house or his business?
I think I kind of described it as being in the center of Dreg.
Okay.
Now, was it Orin or was it the bartender that revealed to us that they had sort of a sordid past?
That was the bartender, Ogum.
Gotcha. I mean, if he did head out to the island, maybe one of the people in these taverns would have seen him, or maybe somebody was around town, seen him.
So it sounds
So
like you guys have a couple of
that's what
different thoughts on the table.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking? Joffrey's thinking to maybe go into this tavern and just like kind of talk up the people in there and be like, oh, y'all know old Orin, friendly guy, helps you guys out, you buy stuff from him. We're looking for him. Have you seen him?
Yeah, at least until the guards wake up, or the watch wakes up.
All right. So
Maybe.
Go ahead.
And so the God House is another place that we would be visiting, correct?
That's the church, right? That's down by the
Yes.
docks. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
thinking that's next stop. Yeah.
Okay, so currently you want to go to Shagiri's shack.
Yes.
Yes.
While we're
Okay.
here.
Everybody's in
Yeah.
agreement. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, since it's right, we're right at it, basically.
So you all enter into Shagiri's shack, entering into the front door. Right above you as you're entering in, there's a sign with a leering moon ringed with grimacing stars. Very much a kind of stark difference here than the place that you stayed at last night. The tap room kind of smells a little bit of stale ale. There's a little bit of a stickiness maybe to the floor, and all of the like chairs and everything in here are just all jumbled up. Like nobody takes the time to kind of tidy up or keep this place nice and clean. There is a squat, muscular man, maybe late 30s, bald. Looks like he's maybe himself kind of favoring a little bit of a shiner. Like so he took a fist to the face maybe at some point in the past few days. But he is just like kind of cleaning some of the mugs and glasses in a basin behind the bar as you come in. And he just kind of gives you a cursory like nod.
Yeah, I'll probably mosey up to the bar, maybe flip him a silver or two, not ask for a drink, and just be like, hey, friend, we're looking for somebody, and we're wondering if you may have seen them.
Oh, who is it that you are looking for?
Are you familiar with Orin, the shopkeep from town?
Yeah, I know him.
Have you seen him recently? Maybe
in here? Him? Not a chance. He's got to stick up his ass. He wouldn't be caught dead in here.
Okay.
And he's talking this guy. He's got at least 3 teeth missing.
Good to know. And so, not around here, not around the docks. As far as you've seen in the last day, you haven't seen him around.
I haven't seen him. Well, you're looking for him. He's probably up at his store if you're looking for him. An early riser.
Great. Cool. Thank you. We appreciate you. That's probably if he hasn't seen him, that's probably all I got for him. I don't really have any other questions.
So you head out, and I guess pretty quickly identify this as a dead end talking to the barkeep here.
Yeah.
Next place you wanted to check out was to go to the church. So you make your way over to the Church of St. Wick. Wooden church sits right next to the port, and it's actually built upon a pier that sticks out into the river. There's a weathered and battered door of oak that is unlocked, and you enter in to a just very simple, very quaint chapel. And sitting in one of the pews in the front row, you can see there's somebody sitting there. Looks like it's an elderly man in a white robe. He's got like his kind of thinning hair sort of combed over, maybe to try to hide some of the baldness. But it almost looks like he's sleeping. You can kind of hear snoring. And you go over there and you can see that it's just this flabby old man who's got a book on his lap, and he's just snoring, eyes closed.
Oh. He'll the friar will move forward and say, good day, good morning.
Hey, hello. Oh,
Hi.
good morning.
Hello, father.
I'm sorry. And he's got spectacles on. He's kind of adjusting them. And he's trying to look at you. Hogsbeard, I'm busy reading. And what do you need from me?
No, it's us. I am a friar. We've come either way. We are just looking for someone. We don't mean to interrupt your prayers.
Yes, praying to
Yes.
all praise be to one true God. And you're looking for... Who is it you say you're looking for?
We're looking for Ormond. Have you seen him? Ormond, feel like...
Shopkeep. Oren. Yes, I know him. He's just looking around. I don't see him. No.
Well, we don't mean to alarm you, but he's gone missing. We are looking for him. If you hear anything, please.
Yes. I will let you... Who would you say your name was?
Friar Fitzpatrick.
Friar Fitzpatrick. Good to
We are
meet
passing through, though we have... Don't worry. All you have to know is we are looking for him. We are searching for him. We are a friend of the family. We are looking for him. If you happen to hear anything, please.
Yes. Well, may Saint Wick be with you in your travels on the road, and that they lead you to finding missing Oren.
Oh, thank you. Sorry to interrupt, please. He'll
just sort of
do the sign of the cross and
he
do the
signs
same
as well.
thing. Okay, that answered many questions. Let's move on.
Yes.
Friar Fitzpatrick, did they say that the resting yellow jackets were in the church? Do you remember the ones that were out at night?
No, they wouldn't be. They would have their own residences or stay, wherever.
Got it.
Wherever their homes are.
But another possibility, Oren was talking about his interactions with the woodcutters camp, right? It was Oren.
Oren's only interaction with the woodcutters camp is that he knew that guy that came from there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I misremembered that.
Is it possible that maybe we don't know Oren well? We met him yesterday. Maybe he did go to the island?
I mean, I was thinking that, right? That was my thought. But everybody in town, including the bartender at the the gross little spot down at the docks, was saying that Oren is just not that type of guy. And we may not know him very well, but I would venture to say that the people of this town probably know him fairly well. So
True.
I do think that if we don't turn up any clues in town, that it would be worth heading out there and taking a look. But it just does not seem in his character to go out there, to head that way.
I hesitate to say this, but I was sort of encouraging people to hold the Burkmeister Monocles responsible for, everything. perhaps other patrons took that message, and so maybe Oren was picked up to talk about us and find out what he knew about us. So I think that's another place we need to go.
The Birdmaster.
The Burkmaster.
Yeah, if for no other reason, at least to alert him, and if he has the full power of the town that can keep eyes out, you know. And I think that's a great idea.
So,
yeah. One other thing we could do, whatever would be the most expeditious route from the inn to Oren's establishment, perhaps some of the residences along the route perhaps heard something last night.
That as well.
all right. So if I am hearing this right, you would like to maybe knock on some doors in his general neighborhood on your way to the Burkmasters to maybe seek an audience and talk with him. Okay, so we'll just kind of like
Canvas.
we're going to kind of generalize some information here along the way. You will do some knocking on some doors. I will say it's about 10 a.m. right now, and maybe over the course of the next 2 hours, you start to knock on some doors. This will bring you up to noon. People will say mostly that they weren't awake last night at the hour. They weren't keeping eyes on the road or anything. They didn't hear anything, no disturbances or anything. Until there will be like one house that's maybe on like, I'll move the token. There's going to be like one house over here where someone will say that they thought they heard a scream outside last night. They went to check and they looked out their window and they didn't see anything. But they say something to you that suggests maybe they did hear a male voice cry out last night.
In that area. If we continue to look around that area, and obviously, there's roads that are well traveled, so there's all sorts of footprints and stuff. But if we were to look in the alleys and the behind the buildings and stuff like that, do we see any signs of anything strange, out of the ordinary, signs of struggle, things knocked over, blood, anything like that?
Let's see. Lillibeth, why don't you roll me a d6?
Okay. 3.
Okay. So you're pretty close by to... As you're kind of looking around, you do see where it looks like someone maybe had been drugged, like markings on the dirt road, like a scuffle, and something was being dragged along the road over here. It's a little messy, but all of this kind of leads to being right over here by this smokestack that rises up out of this little building. And it's give me 1 second. I just gotta flip to the page. It's just a tall windowless building. It's topped with a conical roof, and there's this like rusted out iron chimney that juts up out of the top of it. And there's black smoke that's billowing out. I think I described this on your first day in this building.
Right.
And it smells heavily of kind of that smoked meat scent. So this is a smokehouse.
Smokehouse of some sort. Is there a door to the establishment? It seems like is it is it a smokehouse? Would be like open for business? Does it seem like it's a private thing? Like they're not used to people kind of coming in and out, or other than the people that work there, or
You don't see anybody like loitering about or walking around it. There's one door, like a big metal door that leads into the building.
Do not have
And
a good feeling about this.
the dragged, feet or dragged, whatever was dragged, does it seem to be leading in or out of any particular area of this, or just in general, you see around here, it seems to be dragged kind of around it?
I would say it seems likely that whatever it leads to that door in the building itself. Hey,
Well, friends,
thank you for the follow, Eris Shrugged. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us this morning.
Have we seen any guards, or there are no?
There are probably loitering about in kind of the vicinity of the Burkmaster's Manor. There's maybe like a constabulary, like 2 guards wearing kind of a black kind of tabard that are having a conversation on a corner.
Okay.
That's not next to, you've seen the guard back there, but it wouldn't be over here by the shack.
well,
The
friends,
smokehouse.
if our assumption that there was a scuffle in which Orin was dragged into this building is correct, I do not think it would serve us to knock on the door and walk right in.
I agreed.
But I am not a sneaky type, so I am at a loss as to where to go from here.
Maybe ask the constabulary, the guards. I mean, I know that's a novel concept to actually go to the guards, but especially since we've had not wonderful relationships with officials, but this may be our best way forward.
I agree with you, Lillibeth. I think maybe it might be best to get at least one guard, some whatever authority figure here may be involved.
So you're going to go
agree
and
with that.
talk to the constabulary?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you make your way over there, and they'll kind of go from being very casual to kind of, standing up straight, and they say, what seems to be the matter? You have a concerned look on your faces. Something to report?
We've
Well,
been at.
No,
Go ahead.
Lillibeth, you go. You
Oh.
saw it.
But yes, so we've been asked to look for Orin by his wife. He didn't come home, and she is very concerned. We've already spoken to several people, and none of them have seen him. However, we decided to see if we could find any sign of him being close to home or on his way home, and I found marks that indicate that something or perhaps somebody was dragged over towards the smokehouse. And that's we were looking for because people in his neighborhood said that they heard a man cry out last night. So we're concerned about Orin and would appreciate your help.
Okay. You want us to go and take a look with you? They'll follow you, and you can point out kind of the evidence of everything that you have shown them.
Yes.
They're being very slow about this. This probably takes another. We'll say we're at about. Or maybe at like 1 p.m. at this point. As they make their way over there, they will kind of agree with you that it seems like whatever it is maybe leads them into the smokehouse here. And they'll go and they'll open up the door, and they'll open it, and there's kind of this like very thick kind of smoke that pours out, and it gives you a look inside. You can see there are kind of racks all around in this one room inside there, racks with kind of basins of like embers and fire underneath. The smoke is like washing up racks of like fish and sausages and things like that that are laid out all around the room.
We do not see smoked orin in this building, correct?
Nope. You don't see anything in there other than all the meats and whatnots, and there is a trap door that maybe leads down into like kind of a cellar or something. But they look about and they say, well, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary in here.
What about that? Can we look down there? What's down there? As I point to the trap door.
They'll go and kind of open up the trap door. Looking down, it's just real dark. It's kind of a dirt floor. Maybe, we'll say probably less than 10 feet. Maybe it's like a 8-foot drop down. And it looks like there's a sort of like storage down there, like other racks, old racks, maybe broken racks that have been kind of just tossed down in there. But it's like cluttery. But they look down there and, you know, they don't have a lantern or anything with them. And they say, I don't know.
Well, do we have a light? Anybody?
I've got a torch, I think. Oh, I have a lantern. I have a lantern.
I've got torches too if we need.
Yeah, I've got 2 torches.
I'll light up the lantern with I've got an oil flask and a tinder box and all that. So
All right. So, you know, manage that inventory as you do, and as you light up the lantern and light fills up the space down there, you hear a really deep wheeze.
Oh shit! Smoked orin.
Oh,
But he's breathing.
You would just see like the father kind of sign himself the prayer and you could hear him kind of muttering a prayer. Hurry forward.
As soon as Geoffrey hears the voice, his kind of like protect the innocent, he just jumps down and starts looking, throwing stuff around, trying to find a human down there.
Okay. So you jump down. Are you taking the lantern as you do so?
I'll go with him holding the lantern up, like
Okay.
giving him light.
So the two of you kind of crowd in down there, and just imagine like there's just all this kind of junk. And it's not organized, so it's just like jumbled up like racks and furniture, not furniture, but just all this stuff that's been tossed down there. It makes it really kind of hard to like see. But as you're looking with the lantern, you could see some movement kind of maybe in the corner of the room, and there's like this. You're not really sure what you're looking at, but whatever it is, it's naked and it's really gaunt and almost like it's just like skin tightly wrapped around bone material that is vaguely humanoid, but it's kind of rattling around at some of this the metal racking and such, and you think you see a body laying on the ground. But this thing is like kind of like moving itself up as you come down in, and you see this like kind of bloody unicorn head on top of this body, this monstrosity that's moving itself up. And so we're gonna go into initiative procedures. So, I'm gonna say, well, first we gotta do a couple of things. First, we have to check to see if you are surprised. So, roll me a d6.
I would say
whoever
yes.
is going to be
Everyone's like, yeah.
Whoever's your caller.
I can't be surprised, so as a hunter. So who's going to be? Yeah, that's one of the things. So somebody else should roll this.
We'll say one of you down there.
All right, I'll call it.
Yep.
Okay,
My
so
good
hunters
lucky
are only
dice.
surprised on a roll of 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm gonna say it's not gonna apply though, because you're not down there. It's really coming
It's a
down to
5.
Weymund and Geoffrey's abilities. It's a 5. You are surprised.
Shit.
Thank you for letting me know.
You're not surprised. So the high roll is good on that one. So you,
So
you see this and you immediately like instinctively like draw your weapons, like you're getting ready. Everybody that's up above sees that they're jumping into action. And so, okay, the next thing that we have to do is determine, are you going to do any withdraws or spells? Or
Can I reach
retreats or
it?
spells?
Can I reach it with color spray?
Yes.
I will cast a spell.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, roll me a d6.
All right, I'll roll it. Come on, give me another 5.
Papa needs some shoes.
It's a 1.
Okay. So this creature is going to go first.
I'm sorry, Geoffrey.
Never. I forgot that. Don't let Winston roll.
Always,
Our prime directive, we forgot.
This D6 is not a. It's a curse.
always, always let the guards go first.
Oh yeah, that was a mistake.
We've had to shove them in, though.
It starts to move forward, like, and it's like these racks are just flying left and right, and this thing is like 8 feet tall, like it is as tall as the building itself, and it's like almost like this ghoulish looking creature with this bloody unicorn head, big. You could see like now that it's moved forward, there's definitely a big hole in the side of Oren, who's in the corner of the room, and it seems like he was probably gored by this creature. And it's going to move up, and it's going to attack Weymund, who's casting a spell.
Oh man.
So if it hits you, your spell will be interrupted.
It's probably the least of his worries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
12 to hit.
Then let me double check, but yeah, that's a hit.
All right. 2 points of damage.
I'm still up.
Oh,
I lose my spell.
You lose your spell. Give me a save versus poison.
Oh, shice.
oh no!
Roll
No.
under or roll over? Can't remember.
I think that one you want to roll over.
Brave Sir Geoffrey ran away, bravely ran away.
Galaxian just bought everybody a re-roll.
Oh!
So mark that down.
Thank you.
I'm not going to track. We're not going to do
I'm using my
communal
reroll.
re-rolls here. So everybody know that you have a one re-roll that you can use by the end of this session. It'll
And
expire
I'm
at the
using
end.
it now.
One of those in a while.
And I failed, anyways. So
Okay.
I failed 4 times.
So you're just feeling really sick at this point as you take that wound. It's very fast acting. Okay, so that is its turn. I think it's only got one attack. I just have to see. Yep. Okay, so then it turns to your group. I would say anybody that's up above, you would be able to see the creature down below. So first we have to go through our process here. Does anybody want to move?
If I'm not standing in this position, so I'm assuming I'm standing in a position where I can shoot down into the hole and I can see because the lantern's in
Yes.
there. Okay. So then no, I don't want to move.
Can I move if my spell was interrupted?
No.
Okay.
If I stay where I'm at, I can hit it with my mace, correct?
Yep, you and Weymund are basically right in front of it. Real compact together. You're in the hole with the thing, basically. All right. Do we have any ranged missile attacks?
I would like to cast a spell as well.
Oh, you can't cast a spell at this point.
Oh, it's over. Oh, I see. We're already.
You had to declare
You have to
that. Yeah.
announce it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we were in the initiative. Okay.
Okay, so I will do a ranged attack. So
All right. You'll get a +1 on that because you're in short range.
and I just roll a d20, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
How big is this hole? Like 5 foot by 5 foot, 3
I
foot
want
by
to
3
use
foot?
a reroll.
Probably like 3 foot.
Those rerolls came in handy right away.
16.
That'll hit.
Okay. And then, shoot, where's my...
What are you using?
The bow and arrow.
Okay, it'll be a D6.
Thanks. A 1.
All right, 1 point of damage. Arrow kind of almost looks like it's having a difficult. It pierces its skin, but doesn't stick into it. Almost like the flesh kind of becomes vapor for a second in that little patch and drops the arrow. But there is a divot there. It took damage. Okay. Any other missile attacks? Then we'll go to melee. So Sir Geoffrey.
Yeah, I'm gonna wail it with my mace. That would be a 17.
That'll hit.
Okay, and I believe it's a D6 for the damage. A 6.
Nice.
Hey.
All right.
I think you get a plus for your. Well, do you have a strength modifier?
Do I? No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
And this is a longsword that you
Oh
just.
no, I do have a +1 strength modifier, melee attack. Okay, +1. Yeah.
Okay, so 7 points.
7. Yeah, sorry.
This is your longsword you just purchased from Oren?
No, this was the mace.
Oh, this is a mace. Okay. So you
Yeah.
bludgeon the thing,
Mhm.
and you could feel like that bone. It's almost like feels like brittle where you knocked into its chest cavity. It kind of crunches, and this thing again like draws in breath, like wheezing, and it sounds like, you know, the lungs of a heavy smoker as it's exhaling. Sir Silas can't really get down there. It's probably pretty cramped, and so he can't just jump down on the top of you. It wouldn't be very effective. So he's up top. Okay, so again, any spell casting?
So my slot is used, right?
It is used.
Got it. Okay. Awesome.
Yes, spellcasting.
All
So,
right.
question for retreat. This is like a tactical thing. Does retreat happen at the end of our side or at the end of the entire round? I was like, if I do retreat, does the monster get an attack too?
Depends on initiative, I think.
In the spot that you're in, so you drop down into this 8-foot hole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I dropped into a hole. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
I thought
mean,
there were stairs.
no. Mm-mm.
Then I will not retreat.
Yeah, you're
I'll
in
say
a
a
tight
prayer.
spot without a rope or something. But I guess to answer the question about retreating, I mean, your retreat would happen as you move, so
Okay.
it would be whenever movement happens, you would start. But you'd be going, remember, into retreat procedure. All you're doing is fleeing then. That's all you can do.
Right. Is there any room to flee down here, like to get away from the creature?
Not really. You just be like kind of
Got it. Here we go.
in the
Here we
rack
go,
and
everyone.
stuff, you know.
This is it.
My action, my movement is going to be to go to kind of the opposite side of where like the ladder is or whatever, and stick my hand down and holler to Weymund, take my hand and try and assist him getting up.
Okay. So go ahead. We'll roll initiative. Roll a d6.
All right. Good vibes. Good vibes. 6.
Yeah.
So your side wins initiative. So Thomas is reaching down to you, Weymund, to try to pull you up. Is that your intention? Is to take his hand and go up?
Well, can I do that? I did not declare a retreat.
So
Can I?
that isn't really a retreat. That would be like a withdraw.
So I have movement. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of there.
Okay. So this will be like what you are able to do on your turn.
Cool. Perfect.
Okay. So Thomas, you reach down and you grab hold of Weymund, and you get pulled up. So for the two of you, that's all that happens. Okay. Any ranged missile attacks? And
I'm going to go ahead and try it one more time.
Okay.
Okay, so 12
that'll hit.
and 4.
Okay. Geoffrey will, or sorry, not Geoffrey. Silas will jump down there. Okay, I think that's the only missile attack. Melee. So Sir Geoffrey and Silas will take swings.
13.
That will hit.
All right. So this is with the mace again. 2 + 1, 3.
3 points damage. Okay. And Silas just kind of jumps down and kind of awkwardly takes a swing with his longsword. Doesn't quite hit the creature. All right. Friar Fitzpatrick.
The Friar is going to attempt. He is assuming this is undead, so he is going to attempt to turn undead. So he says a prayer quickly, and a 7. I had so depending on the hit die, I did put the chart in the in our group chat. Though if it's a 1 hit die, it has to get I have to get a 7. I did get that to turn it. 2 hit die, it's 9, and so on. So I got a 7. So if this is 1 hit die, I turn it.
You invoke the power. You hold out the oraculary, calling out to the one true God, but this creature seems to not be affected by it. And then it becomes its turn, and it is going to take a swing. It's going to reactively try to stab at Sir Silas. And Thomas, maybe for a second, you have a thought or memory of your dream from the earlier night.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ah.
And it hits.
Is Sir Silas DeSantos Sam Watterson?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He gets struck by the unicorn horn pierces through his chainmail armor, and you can see him kind of hold at the wound. And you can just see like kind of black ichor is kind of like oozing out from the wound, for that bloody unicorn horn. And he staggers back a bit. He's still on his feet, but the unicorn monster withdraws its head and is still actively engaged in fighting the party here. Okay. That is going to bring us back to initiative. Any spellcasting?
Yes.
All right.
No.
Initiative. Roll d6.
No, that's me still.
That's you.
Ooh, come on. I'm not down there anymore, so I don't care. But I still rolled a 6. Nice.
You roll a 6? Okay, roll again. We tied.
Fuck. 3.
Okay, your side wins initiative.
Ooh.
Movement. Any movement. Otherwise, missile attacks.
Yes. So, hang on. I can't even see it. 13.
That will hit.
2.
Okay. Melee attacks.
Yep. I'm gonna give it the swing. 14.
That hits.
And D6 plus 1. A 5.
All right. Both you and Silas manage to strike at it. Both your swords kind of pierce through the body of this thing, and you just watch it drop down. And its body just starts to, like, the flesh starts to kind of dissolve and become vaporous, leaving behind this, like, pretty gnarly looking skeleton on the ground.
I'd like to look at my wound.
Unicorn horn also kind of drops off of its head and dissolves.
I'm gonna immediately rush to Orin's side and see what the situation, if he's alive or dead or what.
Immediately, you look at him. His flesh is cold. There's a pool of blood underneath him.
Yeah, I will gather the body and take him out of the smokehouse.
There's parts of him that look like they were devoured, like the thing maybe had been eating him. And there's probably evidence of, like, there's other bones and such discarded about. Maybe previous meals that this creature had, maybe vagabonds or people that wouldn't have been noticed that he has devoured over time.
This creature is almost kept here. Do you think that someone was feeding these people to it?
That was my thought.
I would look to he's already starting to pray over the body and whatnot, but he'd look to the guards and say, and kind of look at their reaction to all this.
Man, would the guards have even stayed? They probably fled. I think they ran out as soon as, like, this all started going down.
Geoffrey has two things on his mind. His first thing is he wants to deliver the body to the family and give the news. The second thing is he was going to say to the guards, like, hey, you guys have this investigation from here. We're going to take care of the family. But Geoffrey really, even though he's pledged to maybe think what he's doing through a little bit better, he really wants to have some words with these guards now. Like, not only did you flee when someone in this town was in danger, but this is happening on your watch, people. There's a monster in town.
Yeah. So we can kind of skip forward to that. Let's say, I think that maybe what they did was they went and summoned the captain, like their immediate supervisor, and they're, like, on the edge of the street, like pointing at the smokehouse, like telling him what happened. And then you come over and you start to lecture them a bit about their duty and everything like that. And one of the guards just pipes up and says, it's just as Brother Hogsbeard suggested. The Nag Lord, this is evidence of the Nag Lord's presence is here, even in Dreg. And they start talking, like, the captain is saying, what are you going on about? And he'll want to see evidence of it, and then you can show him the creature that you killed, and he won't really have words for that. He'll be astonished and horrified at what has happened. They don't have much of a defense to, they don't really respond exactly to what you're saying about their duty and such. They'll just maybe acknowledge their failure to keep Dreg safe.
But what of these other bodies? I see, Orin's body is not the only one that was down there. Has there been other people that have gone missing? This could not be the only creature. There's big questions. You should be up in arms and worried for your town right now.
The captain will say, transients come through here all the time. That is the nature of our village. sure, once in a while we hear something about someone going missing, but who's to say they didn't just jump on a boat and hop on over to the next town or head over to Lankshore? And it's never been a prime concern to try and hunt and look for every single person that's ever been claimed to have gone missing or not been seen again. This is
Who
different.
owns-
Morin is one of our own.
Who owns that smokestack?
It's a public facility basically, and that door does not lock. Anybody that catches some fish can go in there.
Oh,
It's like your Valheim game. Anybody can go in there, throw some fish up there on the rack.
How is Sir Silas? During all this time, I would assist him with his wound and stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
It's already in Weymund's as well. Pussy is starting to look infected. Big black veins starting to kind of.
Do we have any
Healing?
We have one. I have one. So I kind of look to both of you and I kind of sigh, say, well, I feel I have the strength maybe to help one of you, but not both today.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
we could flip a coin.
I think it's time for Brother Hogsbeard to show his mettle as well.
You think you could help us?
He's gonna yap some stuff about the Nag Lord, but if that's the case, maybe it's time to go looking for the Nag Lord, right?
Either way, he'll kind of look at both of you, and I cannot choose. He'd look and
Sir Silas would insist that you heal Weymund. He says, I think I'll be fine.
Are you sure? I'm happy to deal with this judiciously and leave to fate.
I am much older than you. I have lived many more years. Tend to him.
he'd give a nod, and he would once again kind of look into your eyes, touch your shoulder, and start praying to Saint Lillibeth, and cast to please and may we please shine your light once more onto. And he'll kind of pray once more, and he'll cast a cure wounds on you. And I'll get that up, and I'll get you the information. I'll roll it out for you right now.
Great.
While all of this would be going on, I would go run down by the temple and grab Hogsbeard and let him know that there was a monster found in town, and one of my companions is direly wounded, and beseech him to come aid Sir Silas.
So he will definitely come along and take stock of what has happened. I don't know that he's got spells. I just have to check that real quick. Yeah, he'll come down, and rather than really being helpful, he's just going to use this as an opportunity to say, I told you so! I told you all that this was what would happen from... And, he does his whole spiel, but you don't... you get this... He says something about how this is kind of the divine justice may be taking place for not having heeded the word of the one true God, but he doesn't have any spellcasting, and that's really the truth of what it is.
2 points for your character back.
2 points? That's perfect. Max health.
So, do we know anybody else in town who might be able to heal our companion? Constable? Hog's breath?
General medics, infirmary of some type.
There is nothing like that here in the little village of Dreg. So, to speed some things along here, it's going to become quite clear that both Weymund and Sir Silas have some kind of a very fast-acting poison coursing through their veins, and they both get extremely sick. The constabulary kind of leaves you with the impression that they are going to obviously bring this news to the Burkmaster and talk with him. As far as Hogsbeard's zealots, they carry forward through the village and town using this to embolden their message. Now they've got proof, and they're going to continue to say that this is the doing of the Naglord. The Naglord's creep has been attracted to Dreg because of all the sin and the thumbing of the noses in the teachings of the one true God.
Just a question. So the cure wounds doesn't address the poison?
No.
No, it does not.
Okay.
What about
Well,
you?
that certainly makes our first priority to try to heal our friends immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know of any herbs and such that would assist with the poison? Do we still have any of that powder?
He would just say, from what I've learned, all I know is that it detects if there is poison, not to cure it.
Maybe Oren's wife knows something. He is, after all, a tobacconist, or was one, and maybe he has something. She knows something. It's worth a shot.
Look, guys, I hate to bring this up, but if nobody in this town has the power, what about the lady of the island? It seems like she has some sort of sway over the lords in this area. She has her own kingdom, fiefdom out there. Surely she has some healers beyond what this place has.
Well, we don't. That's one person. That's true, and the other father who has become a recluse, perhaps as well. But we can't. I mean, we can't all traipse along together. It takes too much time. Should we split up? What should we do? Sir Silas can't die, and neither can Weymund.
I was going to say, thank you.
Well, no, I would not throw your life away. You saved me. All of you did.
What if we were to split up, search out any options we could have within town, and if we come up with nothing, then we meet up and see if we can find help on the island.
I think that's a good course of action.
So, I take it that one of the priorities here, at least in the immediate aftermath of this fight with this creature, was to take Oren's body back to his wife. And so you go and you stop back at the shop, and she is, of course, distraught. Her first priority is to make sure that her son does not see that. She will maybe ask one of you to occupy him for a moment. as she tries to get control of her emotions. Eventually, I don't know how much time you're going to spend here with her, but this is a very traumatic thing that happened, and she will want the father, what's his name?
Haggle
Yes.
something.
Handlereath.
Hagglereath. Thank you.
Handlereath to start to make the preparations for his funeral and such. And so his body will go and rest in state there to be prepared for funeral and such. You'll spend the rest of your day after tending to that, kind of looking around town. This is not something that anybody here, and the commoners here don't know anything about how to undo this. What you're calling a poison, many of them will see as maybe some kind of a curse or a incurable disease or something. So there is no medicine person here in Dreg. So I think maybe if it is in the interest of the party to go and talk to Madame Shantywood, that's probably a good stopping point to pick up our next session with that, heading out there and trying to seek out a meeting with her.
Word.
Oh man.
What an epic session. Jeez.
I know.
It was the slow burn, and then bam, just right. So this creature was like a super thin giant creature with a unicorn head or unicorn horn.
Unicorn head.
That would be a
on,
nag lord, right?
It was the Nag Lord right there.
No, there's other creatures that have that, I think. Maybe
was it
not.
was it humanoid? Like, did it?
It had a humanoid body. It was like
Okay.
a very tall, lithe, fleshy body. And
So
then
where
that flesh
unicorn?
just kind of formed into this bloody unicorn head.
Oh.
And the skeleton that remained had that on it as well, right? I mean, it wasn't like a
He said
Heart
the
man,
it wasn't like a
heart-
zombie with a unicorn head on it.
It wasn't a zombie. When it died, its body became vaporous.
Okay.
Mhm.
because I would have taken the horn if we could have.
Yeah, I know Alex did that on purpose, so we couldn't take the horn.
Which we could have crushed and turned into an anti-poison.
Or
Except
like
for
stab
maybe-
people.
Or we could
Or
have crushed
stab
them up
people.
with the crystals and see.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say,
bless
send it to
your
the crystal
hearts.
guy.
Unicorn horn.
Yeah, bless your heart. Yeah, go to the crystal guy and let him snort that too, huh?
This thing
This shit will
is
really fuck
worse
you up.
than undead.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
Worse than undead.
Because
That's not good.
Friar Fitzpatrick, your turning of the unholy had no power over it.
Okay, so it wasn't even like it was enough. Like it wasn't that it wasn't enough. It was that there was no effect on it at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So you don't know what the nature of this thing is.
Or it's some sort of fey creature or something.
Mm-hmm.
All you know is that everybody in town is like hearing the story of what happened and what this creature was. It's pretty much unanimous that everybody associates it with the Nag Lord.
And we've
So-
heard rumors about the Nag Lord before too, right? Or was it just this Cold Prince?
I don't know if any of you had any Nag Lord rumors. It's been brought up.
I think I did.
Did
Just
you?
brought it up.
What was
I
your
think I had the
rumor?
Nag Lord rumor. Let me look it up. I think that was one of in the very first session. I feel like I had a story about Nag Lords, but I'll find it.
The common
No, it was-
information about the Nag Lord is that it is some kind of a. Nobody really knows, especially this far south. It's like that thing at the heart of the forest that is corrupting everything, and people attribute a lot of the bad things that happen to people when they veer off the road as the machinations of the Nag Lord. That it caught someone that went off the weary path and got caught up in its shadow. It's said to have. Most people believe that it stays wherever it is and it doesn't really move about. But Father Hogbeard seems convinced that its influence is beyond wherever its little enclave is.
Yeah, and the rumor I had was that it could corrupt plants and animals and give plants sentience, that kind of thing. So
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I was gonna say I think one note that I had was that it controlled the goat people. So.
Okay, you had something about that? Yes. So that might be a rumor that you have heard that, the goat people are maybe
in cahoots.
Or vulnerable to its corruption or something. Just a general statement, because I will forget to say this, and it won't happen immediately. But in the maybe this is not character information. This is just for you as players to know that over the course of days that will transpire, the weeks that pass, Father Hogbeard will be less militant and kind of return to the way he was. A lot of the debauchery and the raucous violence that happens in those taverns and inns will subside. They'll still be kind of rowdy places, but you probably didn't see too much of this, but it was ultra violent in those places beyond just the normal carousing that sailors and such get up to. So you might be able to draw some conclusions as to what had been going on in the town, particularly that all of the food that is consumed in Dreg likely passes through the Smokehouse at some point.
Yeah, there was some foul influence from this creature, perhaps. Maybe we're seeing evidence that that pig's breath maybe was right.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us for the session. I guess as we have done in some of these games, we will take a moment maybe to enter into our giving of appreciation to other players for their contributions for the game, something that made the game special or stand out for you.
Well, I'll call out Isaac. I thought the handling of the water drowning situation was good.
Yes.
It was in character, but also suited to solve the problem. So I was impressed with that. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I was going to throw out Isaac and Ryan about the diffusing the situation, the de-escalation, although perhaps ill-advised, getting involved in that. It worked out well, and I found that fun.
The same here. It was just beautiful. So thank you.
I wanna do a shout out to Chris, his character, that they had that moment where he was talking with Sir Silas about what we were doing. I really enjoyed it, and I mean, it's what I was thinking. Like, geez, what are we doing? Like, this is not good. We're like just, but we were playing our drunk characters, our drunk brothers that all of a sudden wanted to help everyone. But yeah, like I really enjoyed that conversation that you guys had together. It was a nice kind of, and then the dreams. I mean, I'm with Alex with those dreams.
Yes.
Those were really awesome. Like I really liked those a lot.
Yeah. I almost asked you, Alex, does the smoke coming out of the thing, does it resemble the smoke in my dream? But I was like, no.
I kept trying to say something about the smoke every time, like throw that in that somewhere that maybe at some point the dots would connect. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna throw my gratitude out to Chris too, because I thought the way that you did that in game, that conversation with Sir Silas, was like a really awesome way to get your character's opinion out there on the whole thing, like in game, instead of getting meta and stuff. It just worked. It was just it was it was perfect. It was a perfect way to do it. I loved it. It was great.
And I mean, it's funny how when you're like, I mean, as far as Alex with this creature, like when you tell us that after, like everything clicks, right? Or it's like it's been a few weeks where these people, for some reason, I thought maybe that it was like the guard wasn't around anymore, or someone died or something, and they're trying to fill like the way you said it, right? And it's totally like this nefarious creature that's doing this. It's so crazy to me that that's what it was.
The intention of the way that everything happened was to maybe make you think some foul actor was behind it. It was political. It was somebody else.
Right, right.
And I think you could have thought it was so many different. Like, is it Madame Shantywood? Is she?
Mhm.
She's been kind of. We're hearing like Hogsbeard's like take on her that she's some kind of maybe I think he even hinted that maybe she's got some magic or she's holding a spell over the Burkmaster, and maybe that's true. You don't know, but could it be Father's? You saw them being violent with a guy the night before, and then all of a sudden somebody goes missing that was associated with you. Maybe it was them. Maybe they did it.
1000%. I thought it was the Yellow Jackets coming back at us for
Absolutely.
I wanted 1,000,000%. I was like, "There's no question, it's that."
I was so tempted to be like, I want to try some of that sausage. Like I was.
It's something you could eat. I kind of like the reason why you had shadowy dreams like that was sort of because you did eat some of the fish and whatever in that pie. And so it's like not it's just kind of general. You consume something in this town, probably it's not gonna alter it's not that fast acting, but if you habitually like eat this, like just generally your spirit kind of darkens and makes you act out in maybe violent ways is kind of the way it manifests.
I can't believe Pig's Breath was right. I feel like a dick. I judged him so harshly.
Especially when he's Hogbeard. Is this name?
Yeah.
Come on, Pig. It's Pig Breath, isn't it? We're looking for Margarine MacGyver, right?
Margarine MacGyver.
MacGyver.
Yeah, MacGyver. That.
Okay. Yeah. We just. It was very well. So I think I would always start off with a general appreciation for Alex for setting it up so that we remain relatively clueless as we're going through this. That's not easy, I know. And so, yeah, thanks.
Well, and I think, who was it? Chris, you had the idea to kind of start knocking on some doors. And that was not something I had anticipated you maybe doing exactly like that methodical. Because I was banking on probably you're going to jump to a bunch of assumptions, but I was like, as soon as you start doing that, like somebody would have heard something. And it gave you the opportunity to maybe lean on Lillibeth's hunter trait to dig up some clues there, and so it fed real nicely into that encounter and your first taste of a very I guess notable part of Dolmenwood would be the whole story of the Naglord, and so maybe you'll dig into that over time a bit and find out more about what this creature is, what's its nature, what's its association, all of that good stuff.
Well, and my thinking on that was perhaps the simplest solution is the answer. I mean, what way would he normally walk home? And let's just look in that direction.
Well, that'll do it for us here this afternoon, I guess, for 20 Sides to Every Story. Thanks for hanging out with us, all of you out there watching or listening. We're going to be back on kind of a more regular schedule, I would say, going forward. We're going to try to do these every other week. So the next time we will be live will be December 3rd, I believe, at 10 a.m. If you're just catching the tail end of this, I usually edit this to be a part of our kind of more of a podcast format. So Be sure to follow this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. There'll be a truncated, edited version that you can, I don't know, speed through the narrative and the gameplay a little bit. So you can check that out. That'll do it. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us, and we'll see you for the next one. We'll throw a raid out to somebody.
Oh, that was cool.
Man,
Whoa.
I always struggle with these afternoon ones. Does anybody know anybody we should go and raid?
No.
Let me see if there's
I do
anybody
not.
up.
I don't have anybody in my.
We'll just toss it forward to the next person in my queue here. And say, let's go see, roll for it. We'll go and say hi to them.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you all soon.
Have a good day.
Thanks for the
Bye-bye.
rades. Thanks for hanging out,
Bye.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for the raids.
Yes, thank you, everybody that came over from Lord Gasumba or what was it, Dragon Cower?
Coward?
Yeah, appreciate it.